One of the questions we get asked all the time here at Grad Jobs is, how do I stop getting nervous before my interviews? And a lot of these clients that we're working with, they've spent quite a lot of time researching, preparing, doing everything that you should be doing logically for an interview. They know what to say, they know what kind of questions they're going to get asked. They've even kind of scripted a lot of this stuff out, so they know they've done the pre-work. But they still get nervous. So they get into the interview, they get asked the question, and they can't speak properly, and everything goes out the window, and they just start speaking like a machine gun. And they just think, wow, why did I even bother preparing? Because I just spent so much time talking a load of rubbish, and not even I wasn't even thinking. This is really common, way more common than you think, and I've been in that boat. I definitely used to be like that too. So they always ask, how do you fix that? And I don't think it's an easy solution. I don't think there's anything you can do to just magically click your fingers and it will fix. But what I can do is share with you guys just some things, some tips and things that we found. I mean, things that I found personally that helped me, and also things that a lot of our clients have felt useful, because we've helped our clients land more than 360 offers so far, and we've learned quite a bit about what works and what doesn't. So this video is not scripted at all, by the way. I'm just making it up on the fly. So yeah, we'll just keep going and see how it is. So the first thing I can think of is repetition. So when you first ride a bike, you try get on, and it's just like you probably will fall off, right, a few times, because you have no idea how to ride a bike. When you speak to someone that you don't know for the first time, again, like, it's probably kind of difficult because you haven't done it before. If you have to, say you work in sales and you've never done a sales call before, same thing. It's going to be hard to get it right, mate. You'll probably fall off, you'll probably make a mistake, you'll probably get nervous because you haven't done it before. It's the same with lots of things. Maybe you go to the gym for the first time, you've never done a pull-up. You probably can't do it, or you don't really know how to do it. Your body doesn't know how to do it, for example. So what's the theme here? The theme, I think, is when you increase the volume and you do more of that thing, you get better at it. Most people aren't good at that thing when they haven't done any of it. So it's really hard to expect that you're going to be really good at interviewing and communicating with people if you've only ever done a couple of interviews in your life and you haven't had a job that focuses on these types of communication skills. So that's the first insight. And so what's the solution to this? I think the solution to this is get more volume. I know a lot of people who have been in this position where they're very scared of interviews, and they all get over it when they just do more of the thing. So I'll give you an example from my own personal experience. When I did my interviews when I was at university, I had this exact same feeling. I felt like I was just saying rubbish, and everything went out the window. I just lost all control of what I was saying. And the way I fixed that was to get a customer service job. I worked at Kmart, served tons and tons of customers. I also worked at Uber, helped a lot with customer service there. I don't know exactly how many people I served there, but it would have been probably thousands, dealing with happy people, sad people, people from different backgrounds. I had experience doing door knocking and sales, had experience presenting to the CEO of a major bank. So like, once you get all of these experiences and you go out of your way to get out of your comfort zone, focus on presenting and selling and talking to people. When you get to a position where you have to interview for a position, you realize it's just like any other conversation. It's just a normal conversation to see if, the opportunity is a good fit. So in short, tip 1 is get as much practice as you can speaking to people and communicating, whether it's through a sales job, customer service job, some sort of internship, tutoring, anything like that. Another way to increase your volume is to practice a lot. So just teaming up with some friends at university, or just anyone you can get your hands on, really, and just practice. Also apply to jobs and network with people, because when you network and apply to jobs, you talk to people, you have coffees with people, you have phone calls with people, you have video calls with people, and you have interviews with people. And yes, you're going to suck probably for the first many, but then when it actually matters, you're going to be pretty good. The second insight I've got is around self-confidence. I think a lot of job seekers, particularly the ones that we help, who are students, graduates, junior professionals, a lot of these guys and girls do not have very high or very, very good self-confidence. They don't believe in themselves enough. And they go in, I think, already believing that they're going to fail. So in short, their beliefs hold them back. They believe it's going to not go well and that they're not good at it, versus believing that it will go well and they are good at it. So how do you change your beliefs? I think the best way to change your belief is to prove it to yourself, right? So if you go an interview and you crush it and you get the offer, I think you will start believing that you're pretty good, right? At least that's what happens with a lot of people. It's what happened with me. It's what happened with a lot of our clients. But what if you haven't been successful in that way yet? How do you believe in yourself? Well, that's where I think, and a lot of people call me crazy, but I know this stuff works. So, if you haven't tried it yet, don't talk it down. Try it first. But mental visualization and affirmations. If you haven't heard of those before, let me explain. So mental visualizations are when you close your eyes and you imagine yourself doing something in a certain way. So you basically imagine how a perfect outcome would look in the future in this specific situation, and you just play it through in your mind like a mental video, a mental movie. And you play it over in your mind, and you imagine things going well. So if you're preparing for an interview, for example, you might close your eyes and you just imagine yourself logging onto that Zoom meeting, meeting the person, you're both smiling, you have great small talk at the beginning, they ask, tell me about yourself, and you give the best answer ever. You might even practice your answer in your head, and they ask, why do you want the job? And you also give an amazing answer, and then you ask them some questions, and they test you on some things, and you get the offer and you visualize it. What I've found personally, and I know there's a lot of studies that back this as well, especially with elite athletes, is that if you visualize something vividly enough, it's surprising how often it happens. Not only that, but it also gives you kind of almost like virtual practice of that thing. So it's a way you can synthetically get volume. Because before, when I was talking about getting more volume in communicating, obviously the volume I was talking about was real volume, talking to people, interviewing with people, getting customer service jobs, blah, blah, blah. But you can increase the volume and the practice you have just through mental visualization. I know it's weird, but look it up. I think maybe the more formal term is mental rehearsals. A lot of elite athletes, I believe, do this pretty commonly. Golfers, for example, soccer players, for example. So that's one big tip to help you with your self-belief and self-confidence. Another thing is affirmations. And I know people are going to say this is silly, but I've been doing these for many years, and I honestly think it changed my life. I think there's a lot of clients who we've worked with, and it's changed their life too. This mental visualization stuff, the daily affirmation stuff, and there's loads of other success stories you can see out there. I know many of them personally. One of the most successful people I know personally is a massive fan of the daily affirmations and visualizations, and that turned that person into a very, very successful professional. And so how these affirmations work are basically it's kind of complicated, but in short, you decide what beliefs you want to have. So if you don't want to believe that you suck at interviews, and you want to believe that you're really good at interviews and you're really good at communicating and that you are really good at getting jobs and people like speaking with you and they think you're competent and you are competent and you have an infectious smile or whatever it is, whatever beliefs you want to have, you write them down in a form which goes, I am X, or I have X. So for example, you might say, I am a very confident person. Confidence oozes through my veins. I'm just making stuff up. And that's like your one affirmation for the day. So what you would do is pull these affirmations together into a list. You could go 5, 10, 20, as many as you like. Some people even have songs and music of this stuff. And I quite like some of those. Some of them are not good though, for me. And you tell yourself every day. So you tell yourself, I'm confident. I am good with speaking with people. I'm going to get this job. I'm going to be successful. I know how to get offers. I don't stutter in interviews. I'm very clear and concise, and the language I use is eloquent. Also, whatever you want to say. Basically, you come up with the things you want to, the beliefs you want to have, and you say them to yourself. There's another type of affirmation where you talk also about things that you have and kind of other things in your life. So you might say, I have XYZ type of job. I earn XYZ kind of income. There's loads of different types of affirmations. But that's, in short, what they are. If you implement mental visualization and affirmations into your routine, you are pretty confident you'll become much more confident when you're interviewing, and that will happen less. You'll get less nervous. Another little trick that we like to use is music. What we found is that when you go into an interview, when it's all you're thinking about and you're in silence, it can feel kind of scary and overwhelming. Almost like, I don't know if you've ever run a race and you're kind of waiting for the gun to go off and it's nerve-wracking, like the 100 meters, and you hear the gun go off and you have to sprint. Whilst you're waiting in silence for that event, it can be very nerve-wracking. And it's the same with interviews. You're kind of thinking about it, you're going, oh my God, this is big. So if you instead, during that build-up, you listen to music that makes you feel really excited and happy, what we found is that firstly it gets you in a good zone where instead of feeling nervous and anxious, you're feeling excited and happy and full of energy. But also when you actually get into the interview, we find it translates. So when people say, hey Mackenzie, thanks for coming to the interview, how are you? Your energy, your body language, your tone, the words you use, they all reflect kind of the high energy music that you were listening to before. So you come across a lot more excited as well. And there are quite a few other things that we've tried in the past, but I'd say those 4 things, so just getting more volume with interviewing and talking with people and getting uncomfortable and kind of presenting. 2, mental visualizations. 3, affirmations. 4, music. Those things can massively help. So perhaps pick one of those things and try it before your next interview and let us know how you go. If there are any other things you want us to cover in these videos, please let me know. I'm just kind of talking off the top of my head, but I hope that was useful. Have a good day.